So Ezra Lee he manned the first ever submarine. So the first ever submarine was built by a guy known as I believe his name was Daniel Bushnell. That was his name. It was David. David Bushnell. So David Bushnell builds the first ever submarine, and the American Revolutionary War is happening. So he builds this very primitive submarine, and it's called the Turtle. That's what it's called. It's called the Turtle. And he sends his boy, Ezra Lee. It's not actually his boy, but it is like a good friend or whatever, right? He sends in Ezra Lee, puts him inside this dinky submarine, right? And so, there's a lot of problems, obviously, with the submarine because of how primitive it really is. It's not built from the best materials. It's built from, like, scrap metals and random stuff that you can find, right? And you piece it together, and, they're smart people. They're able to make it kind of sink on its own by dropping bits of lead, right? So you drop the bit of lead, and you can rise back up to the top. But otherwise, you're going down, right? And as things go underwater, it gets pretty dark. So they end up trying to give some light to Ezra Lee as he goes on his mission. The issue with that is that if they use a candle, which was the best source of light at the time for these kind of situations, the candle would suck all the oxygen out and would leave Ezra Lee, without oxygen and then starving and dead. Or suffocating is the proper word there. So obviously not a good choice. So they decided to get some phosphorescent wood, which gives off a very light glow. But whatever, they use that instead, which works to an extent, right? And so Ezra Lee goes on his first mission. He's going to attack the Eagle, which is a ship commanded, it's kind of the flagship of Lord Howe, so big, important dude. And what he's going to do is he's going to put a bomb on the bottom of the ship, have it explode, and hopefully kill a bunch of British soldiers, because that'd be pretty awesome. And this goes interestingly. He finds out that the bottom of the ship is made out of copper, which was not able to be kind of drilled into with his drill as well as anything else, right? So he kind of tries to go to the other end of the ship and see if he can put some holes in there. He can't do it either, though, because it's copper all around, right? So he has to go back up for air because the phosphorescent wood is getting even more dim and he can really barely see. He goes up for air. He gets spotted by a couple British lads on some boats, and they're like, what the hell is that thing, right? Because this is the first ever submarine. Nobody knows what's going on. What is that weird thing in the water, right? That could be something that's ours that fell off of our ship. We might have to go grab that, right? So they do that. Ezra Lee notices that they notice him. So he goes back under, and he releases the bomb into the water. So it doesn't kill anyone, but it does cause a huge splash in the water, which confuses the heck out of all the British people. Ezra Lee ends up back on land after this daring mission, where it could have been very easy to die. Ezra Lee could have very easily just ended up dead. He doesn't die, though, and he thinks to himself, well, that was not successful, but I'm going to do it again because I'm a mad lad. And so he goes off and he does it again, and he actually is successful against a different ship. He's successful. He kills 3 British soldiers, and he continues to do this for a long time. He becomes celebrated by George Washington, right? And people love this guy, right? He lives for quite a long time, too. He doesn't die in any of these expeditions in the Turtle, of which there is only one turtle. I don't believe they make multiple turtles. They make one turtle. He uses this one turtle for everything. And then, he dies at, I think, the ripe old age of 76. So you can do crazy crap in that time period, and you'll survive. Or you could just die and nobody will remember you. But Ezra Lee didn't die, and he was an American patriot. He fought for the Americans valiantly, did one of the most terrifying things a human being can do. Holy crap, is that terrifying, to go underwater in this primitive little ship where you're like hunched over. You're literally in the most awkward position ever. You can barely see anything. It would be very easy for something to malfunction and for you to just drown or suffocate. But that didn't happen. Ezra Lee popped off, became a scourge upon the British Empire, upon their fleet, because every once in a while they would be just going up the rivers, the vast kind of rivers of the Northeast United States, and they'd get blown up by Ezra Lee, being that sneaky little bastard that he is.